Hi, how is everybody doing today? I miss seeing you guys in person, and that'll happen again, but right now we'll do it this way. We'll embrace technology, even if we do it kicking and screaming. Today's talk is about our habits and how they get us stuck. The premise of my talks is always the same. Going into this, we'll go over it real quick. Personality, self, habits are based in the past and or in your life story. So what you've created in the past, going forward, it always seems to just go with you. And our soul self decisions are based in the moment decisions we make after we choose to connect with our higher self or the all that is. So what our goal in this type of work is that we're trying to blend the two in a more seamless fashion. So our habits, because we are on the earth plane, the human condition is all there is, if you think about it. Our goal is survival and comfort and joy and chaos, really, if you think about it. A little bit of chaos kind of keeps it interesting. But the human condition dictates that life will always have challenges. The normal aging process, the exposure to all of the world's issues will never stop. It's not like you can say, okay, I like it all the way it is right now. Everybody stop, we're all going, let's just hover. I'm ready to hover for a little while. It just isn't going to happen. It's what do you choose to focus your attention on amidst the chaos of the world? The chaos is a constant, if you think about it. It isn't something that goes away completely ever. I think what happens, at least for me, is that sometimes I forget my skill set of redirecting my focus, and then I get stuck. I get stuck on the political arena. Is that healthy? Oh my goodness, no, not in today's world. What about climate change? I live on the ocean now. So climate change could be in my face. And I have a couple of times since we moved here had little fear thoughts. And then John would just simply say it from his point of view, what his thoughts were. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was my take on the situation, completely independent of what's going on in the rest of the world. So that was a good experience for me. What about the financial stressors in our lives? We're all in our own little boats, our financial boats. And the vision of a boat, a little protection maybe in a boat from the water, from the wind, from the animals or the fish that might be underneath your boat. Our boats are what our personality self create to protect us, along with the ego. The ego helps out. We need these. This is the lifestyle I want. This is the amount of money that I need, but I don't have it. So then you're suddenly focusing on the lack. Or perhaps you can go back to the political arena, the lack of flow, the lack of candidates that bring you joy, the lack of truth in speech. The list goes on and on and on, and it will always go on and on and on. That is what the political arena is built on. Differing opinions about even the smallest of things. So to say, I am so overwhelmed with the political life, with the political arena, with the political energy, that I can't cope. Well, you're kind of taking a bite out of a lot of life, at least for many people. So think of the political arena in the United States, how it's changed over the years. What about the political arena in war-torn areas? What about the political arena in countries like Africa, different parts of Africa, where people are just doing their best to survive? So what I'm trying to point out is that we all are exposed to political changes, political shifts, political attitudes, all people, not just us here in the United States. So when I look at that, I suddenly know this will always be, because every single person on the planet has opportunity to be exposed to political upheaval. So then I have to make the decision, okay, I'm not alone in this. Even the people who are touting their superiority, they really aren't joyful people. They're not in a state of joy. So I choose to find the joy. I choose to focus on what I want to focus on. So my habit is perhaps to focus on what someone is saying and how I don't like what they're saying. And then I push it away. In previous talks I've said, pushing things away is energy consumption. It doesn't work. And it isn't using your soul self's guidance when you do that. So if you look at the political arena, which is a human condition, I'm sure cavemen used to have it, if you believe in cavemen. Don't you know that there was fighting over the resources that were available to the community? So again, it isn't new, and it won't ever go away. What about climate change? Again, it isn't new, it's always changed. We may be adding to that to speed it up. As humans, we are, again, in the human condition of focusing on more. Maybe that can be changed. The financial stressors, maybe an idea is to need less. What if focusing on lack of finances actually brings more of that energy into your life? What if you were able to sit down and say, you know, I'm grateful for my comfortable bed. I am so grateful that the temperature that I expose myself to day in and day out is just what I want. I am so grateful that I am not hungry. I am grateful that my friends are not hungry. So in other words, I'm choosing to focus. It's all choice. You've got to stick with me on that one. It is all choice. If you're stressed because of your environment, it is a choice to be that way. Part of you, and maybe unbeknownst to you, is enjoying it. Enjoying the turmoil in your solar plexus area. Feels more alive when you're discussing the political chaos in the community and or in the United States as a whole. Part of you likes it. Part of you is stressed about your finances. Part of you likes to think about that lack. When you play with thoughts, when you rehearse things, when you focus on lack or chaos in the political arena, or Mother Earth is undergoing a wrongfully induced climate change at the hands of humans. So in other words, any of these major things, which I'm not saying don't exist, I'm just saying let's shift our focus so that we can joyfully be engaged with others and with our own life. How do I focus on my financial stressors? Well, be thankful for what you have. Be grateful. Focus on what you have, and the energy will shift around that area of your life. I know, I've done it. Focus on the political stamina of the individuals. How joyful. Wow, these people really believe in their thoughts, in their mission. You may not agree with their mission, but you can identify with that passion they have. Find something good, something to be grateful for. Humans with passion. Wow. Be grateful for the human condition. It is part of the formula for our life on the earth plane. So if you're going to say, I don't want any stressors in my life, you're going to focus on the stress and create more of it. You're going to invite more of like energy into your life, into your area of influence. So do we avoid the news? Do we avoid, all of these stressors as a means of obtaining a peaceful existence? That's the question. How do we cope with this? And I think the answer has to be no, you don't avoid it, because that's doing this kind of, Oh, the news is on, honey. I told you I wasn't going to watch the news, and you trot out making a big scene. Or telling all your friends, I don't watch the news because I have a peaceful life. I think we want to selectively engage in the activities of being informed. There are channels available in both radio and television that focus on good news. There really are. But the problem is people don't watch it. And so they can't get the funding to become bigger. Maybe that would be your personal choice to find those channels and to support them. That'd be awesome. If you want to watch news, but you're overwhelmed with the outcome or how with the whole situation, find the channels that bring you joy. And if you embellish those thoughts, then that becomes your core frequency or your core energy. So you can find these channels. You can discuss these channels with your friends to spread the love. You can become passionate about supporting channels that bring you joy-filled news or joy-filled topics. I think we fall into what's easy. And what's easy is following our old habits of being thrust into the chaos of the world. And so if you are being overwhelmed, stop. Sit down and look at it and say, okay, these habits are just not serving me anymore. I today am choosing to shift where my focus goes. My focus is the garden in my yard, the hummingbirds at the feeder, how I can keep the feeder clean better. vinegar. That's the trick I hear. How can I share my garden with others? How can I learn from a friend who has an amazing garden and mine isn't so good? My focus is what I choose for it to be. I go online, I'm not looking at the news, I'm looking at how much water does this plant really need? How much fertilizer does it need? In other words, again, I am still part of the community, but I'm not focused on what brings me down. Debbie Downer. So I'm selectively exposing myself to what I find joyful, what I find uplifting, what I find is educational. I mean, think about it. The news is supposed to be educational. Well, I don't like what they're teaching me. I don't like what they're saying. It's sort of like a teacher. Do you remember those teachers in school that you really just didn't like? And so you would choose to just the whole class and you just didn't learn it and whatever. Well, choose those channels that bring you joy. Choose to not watch the news. Maybe read more. Fill your time with things that bring you joy. If you have hobbies, expand your knowledge base of that, which bring you joy. Don't get into habits of sitting on the couch and staring out and thinking about all the terrible things that are going on in the world. Our grandparents could have done that, right? They had stuff going on in the world. Their grandparents, it's always been there. We're just blessed with what we have right now in the world and with the ability to know within minutes about some terrible thing going on in another country. We are also blessed with 24-hour news, which means they go and find that stuff more readily to give to us, to put on the boob tube so that we can watch it. Technology. Gotta love it. So my attitude is paramount in this survival in the earth plane. I've already done it the personality habit way. I've already been there, and that didn't do it for me. And that's what brought this whole topic about. My attitude is one of respect, one of joy, one of amazement, and I need to continue growing. I need to learn to be happy, to feel like I am an advantage to my community. When I worked at the hospital, I would see people one after another, and it was so interesting. The people who were joyful about their lives were busy. They were volunteering for this, or they were writing a book, or they were in choir, or they were, teaching people how to train their dogs. I mean, I can just go on and on with that. The people who came in with long faces and woe is me were people that sat at the house and pretty much watched TV all day. In other words, they filled up their energy, their love bucket with Debbie Downer stuff. So when I watched that happening in my office, I would sometimes, if time allows, sit down and talk with that individual and say, what is your secret? And it was always the same. They were active. They might have had aches and pains and illnesses, but they were volunteers at the food bank, and they did it as much as they could. Do you see where I'm going with this? You can have aches and pains and illnesses and all of these things. If you choose to be stagnant because of it, obviously that's a choice. I respect that. But I'm not going to do that. I need to feel fulfilled in my life. And if I choose to focus on the negative around me, that will fill me, but it will bring me down. It makes me feel that, why bother? You know? I look for relationships and activities in my life. I find them. I go out and find them. Go out of your way to find them. Talk to those people that you know that have a glass half full attitude about life. Find those people in your life because they're there. And ask them what their secret is. They'll tell you. And my goal for you would be that one day people are going to come to you and say, what is your secret? They're not going to come to you and ask what your secret is if you're always going around going, oh, woe is me. Did you see that report? Did you see what that man is doing? Did you see that school shooting? Did you see this, that? They're not going to come and ask you what your secret of life is about. They're going to avoid you, or at least not embrace it as much. Unless you're hanging out with a bunch of people that do get off on that, then they're going to, the energy is all excited because, oh, did you hear about that terrible flood and all the people that drowned? Did you hear that? It's almost like you're saying it with glee. Go to the table of people at the same restaurant that are having a talk about the new quilt that they made, or the how their grandchildren are doing so well in school. Whatever it is, it isn't going to be what's going on the boob tube. So what we want to do is seek out the relationships and the activities that bring us joy. We want to look at our habits of going after the negative out there. Again, the human condition. There's plenty out there to play with. We can play all day out there in the negative. We can play all day out there in the positive. When you focus on the positive in your life, it magnetizes more into your life. Again, talk to those people who have skills that brings them abundance. Find those people. If you don't know anyone off the top of your head, start exploring for those individuals. Find them. Ask them questions. And you'll find a theme. You have a theme in your life. Is that theme interesting for a stranger to come and ask you, how did you get your theme? Are you proud of it? Are you proud of the way that you conduct yourself in public and at home? Are you proud of what you've magnetized into your life? Abundance, joy, peace, flow. Are you a community member that offers something unique to others? Because downward flowing energy is easy to find. So can you focus on the upward flowing energies of your life, magnetizing upward flowing people and activities into your life and embellishing those? I was saying something. If you, let's say your dog chews up the side arm of your couch. I used that as an example once. So you come into the house and you, oh my gosh, my dog just chewed up the couch. Oh, you just lose it, right? I mean, that would be expected. Then you go out because you had something scheduled already. And so you have a choice. Your friends are going to say, hey, how's it going today? Are you going to say, well, my dog ate my couch and ruined it? That would be an option. I mean, you have the right. I'm not saying you can't do these things. But what if you said this? What if you said, my dog had the best day today. He just had a blast chewing up my couch arm. I guess that gives me the opportunity to find a new couch. I really didn't want to spend any money on a couch right now, but maybe I'll find a great deal on one. Or you could say, I guess I'm going online to find a couch cover. One of those slip covers. I'm going to find one that actually stays on and looks awesome and actually matches my living room decor better. Okay, so those are two choices. Woe is me, my dog is now being secluded to his kennel or outdoors while I'm gone. Or, gee, now I have an opportunity. What can I do with this couch the way it is? So when your friends leave you and are there with other people, they're going to remember and say, wow, I have this friend, and she can see the goodness in anything. Her dog ate her couch, and I would have lost it. But she didn't do it that way. She sees that there's an opportunity for change in her life now that she has a broken couch or a torn up couch. So do you see what I'm saying? Is that it's a choice to focus on the negative, even in chaotic, crazy situations. It truly is a choice. How do you want to be remembered? How do you want people to talk about you? Do you want them to say, Sally's couch was eaten, and oh my gosh, she is just distraught. She doesn't have any money for a new couch, and whatever. Or do you want them to say, wow, I know that she's financially strapped. Maybe we could help her find a new couch, because she's all about the opportunities that every day brings her and embellishes her life. Maybe we could help her out. In other words, you've attracted something good into your life by looking at the situation and finding the good in it. It may not be your norm. It may not be what you normally do. But just play with this. Find the goodness, especially when your brain is running around. You can stop it and say, oh, no. There is some goodness to this situation. I may have to think about it for a few minutes to find it, but it's there. And the more you think about finding the goodness in situations that you're exposed to or things that happen, you'll find those good tidbits easier and easier. And pretty soon you won't have to go find them. They'll just pop into your head, because that is now your new habit, looking for the goodness no matter what the situation is. Don't think that I think this is easy, because I don't. But I do know that as adults, we can make our own choices on a day-to-day, minute-by-minute basis. And peace and joy is an option for us, no matter what our circumstance. I want to leave this world a better place, a more joy-filled life for others. And the only way I can do that is by bringing joy to the table. I have to release the habits that no longer serve me. Repetitive, negative thinking brings me down and those around me. And that is not what I choose to focus on. Now, with these talks that I do for you guys, if you ever have questions, comments, make sure you tell one of the staff, or you can email me at K, which is the alphabet K, at andreswhispers.com. And I'm happy to talk about any particular situations you have or ideas for the next talk for you, because I really do like to focus this on what your community is having issue with or wants to embellish. It's all good. It's all about the love. Bye. It was good talking to you, and I'll see you next time.